Case is entitled, we'll go on the Zoom record, State of Kansas versus Tyler J. Beauclair, 25 CR 303. State of Kansas appears by Assistant Butler County Attorney Amber Norris. The defendant, Mr. Beauclair, appears in person and by his attorney, Ryan Gehring. This matter does regularly come back before the court this day on the preliminary hearing control docket. And announcements to the court, Mr. Gehring.
May it please the court, Your Honor, we're still waiting on discovery on Mr. Beauclair's case. So if we could pass this to another status docket, that's what I would ask for. I think we went to 9/22 on the other one. I might ask to go to the 10/14 date on this one, just given the fact of the severity of the charges and the fact that we don't have discovery yet, but I will defer to the court on the length of time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gehring. Ms. Norris, is 10/14 agreeable to the state? And any other matters to come before the court? Ms. Norris?
None from the state, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gehring?
Your Honor, I would like to address Mr. Beauclair's bond. I did file a motion in regards to that.
Yes, please proceed. Court is in receipt of the motion to reduce or modify bond. Mr. Gehring?
Thank you, Your Honor. What we're requesting, Your Honor, is for you to lower the amount of the bond. I know that it wasn't this court, but at the first appearance, his bond got set at $1 million. There was some insinuation that maybe he was trying to run from this, which we dispute. My understanding is he was in contact with law enforcement from Butler County from the time the accident happened until the time he was taken into custody. Mr. Beauclair was planning on moving to our area locally, so he does have a house rented here already. Obviously, I know it's a concern for the court always as to whether somebody has local ties. He is not from Kansas, but he does have a local residence, which was already rented, which he has access to. So if the court were so inclined, he would be able to remain within the state of Kansas. And also he would be willing to comply with whatever other conditions this court would feel is appropriate, i.e. scram, house arrest, GPS, whatever the court thinks would be necessary to ensure public safety, we have no problem with complying with. So I think, and I'm not positive on this, I think when the initial bond may have been 100,000 before that, I would ask that you reduce it back down to there. Don't quote me on that because I haven't seen the paperwork. That's what somebody else told me. But I would ask for 100,000 or whatever number the court thinks is appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Gehring. The court does make inquiry. What is the address of the residence that Mr. Beauclair has rented? Okay. The court is in receipt of the proposed residence for Mr. Beauclair out of Wichita. Court does make inquiry. Mr. Gehring, does Mr. Beauclair have any family that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
He does not have any family that resides in Butler County, Your Honor. He does not.
Okay. And what is his county and state of residence?
Tyler, can you just answer the judge's question, please?
It would be Avoyles Parish, Louisiana. Specific city would be Mansura, Louisiana.
Mansura?
Mansura, yes, Your Honor. It's Mansura. And the parish, The parish would be Avoyles, Avoyelles.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anything further, Mr. Gehring?
Just so the court understands the circumstances, Your Honor, I guess what I would tell you is Mr. Beauclair was working, I believe, at the refinery in El Dorado and had planned on moving here permanently. Obviously, this has changed plans, but that's the reason why he already had a place due to those prior plans. So, like I said, he does have a place to stay. If you are willing to reduce the bond, obviously a bondsman will be involved. He's totally willing to stay in Kansas and will comply with whatever conditions you put on him.
Your Honor.
And Ms. Norris.
Who is he going to be living with?
I would assume by himself for the time being. I would assume maybe at some point his wife and children may come join him, but I don't know what the plans are at this time for that.
Okay. So living by himself at the address provided. And
And if that were to change, I would certainly advise the court and supervision before any changes were made.
thank you. And recommendation for bond in regards to the motion, Ms. Norris.
Your Honor, state does believe that the bond as previously set is appropriate in this particular matter. Your Honor, these are very serious offenses. I mean, the defendant is charged with 3 counts of murder in the second degree and 2 counts of aggravated battery. These are presumptive prison matters. This is a very strong case for the state. The defendant was, before this happened, had already been kicked out of 1 bar and was driving drunk per blood tests and admitted that he was the driver on the phone to his wife while he was in jail. But Your Honor, we really should focus on, he killed 3 people and their 3 family members are on this meeting. So if the court wishes to hear from them, they are all present and are all adamantly opposed to him having any kind of a lesser bond and having him be out in society as a safety risk to them and other members of other people's families. Your Honor, we do not believe that he has sufficient ties to this community. He may have been working here at the refinery, but he has no family. He's not employed that we are aware of. When the court signed this warrant, it was actually a no bond hold, and we had to extradite him from Indiana, not Louisiana. So, Your Honor, we
Wait,
have
just a minute,
significant.
just a minute. So the extradition was from the state of Indiana,
Correct.
not Louisiana.
In Louisiana. He had been there. He had returned to Louisiana after this incident while we gathered information, and apparently, I think had another child born. Sold some property, sold a house, or something significant like that, and then was found in a suburb of Indianapolis, Indiana, when the warrant went out, and we brought him from Indiana to Kansas to face these charges. And he did a first appearance on July 21st.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Gehring.
I understand, Your Honor. I understand how that looks. I will tell the court, my understanding is that the sale of the house, property, et cetera, was done prior to this incident happening because he had intended to move here. So it wasn't a situation where he's, getting rid of his property in an attempt to flee or avoid this. That was done beforehand. The Indiana situation is after he got out of the hospital, he went back home to Louisiana. His wife did have a child, and he had a work opportunity in Indiana. Like I said, he'd been in contact with law enforcement in Butler County, and I believe that's been verified. And Mr. DeVinny did indicate at the first appearance that was true. And he went to Indiana. It was verified, I believe, through law enforcement in Butler County also that he was in Indiana for a work situation. It wasn't that he was trying to get away from this. He was trying to keep employment for purposes of taking care of his family. He never intended to run away from this. He understands that he's going to have to face the music here, and he's going to have to deal with these charges. And we understand that they're very, very serious charges. Believe me, we 100% understand that. But we would ask that you give him the opportunity at least to have a bond that he can make so that he can help me prepare his case and we can figure out what we need to do with this. Like I said, I understand the state's concerns, but I think that we can alleviate some of that with GPS, a scram monitor, and I trust that we will have no issues with Mr. Beauclair if we're able to make bond.
Thank you, Mr. Gehring. And court makes inquiry to Ms. Norris. Prior hearings in regards to Mr. Beauclair, did Mr. Beauclair waive extradition back from Indiana to Kansas?
Your Honor, we had a first appearance on, like I said, on July 21st. And Your Honor, I can't speak to that. I do not have. I don't know that I actually have, well, let's see here. I
Did the
show,
state, excuse me, did the state have to go through extradition proceedings, or was that was there a waiver of execution, waiver of extradition entered by Mr. Beauclair?
Your Honor, I'm looking, I have the costs and everything for going to retrieve him from Indianapolis, Marion County Jail. But they left on the 17th and returned on the 18th. And and all the costs incurred with that. But right this second, I cannot. Well, one second. Let me see. I'm kind of trying to click through all these different documents.
I would assume based on the short time, Your Honor, that there was a waiver. But Tyler, did you waive extradition in Indiana?
When I was brought to trial in Indiana and they asked if I was Tyler James Beauclair, I said yes. So I'm not sure what that means, but I did say that I am the person that they brought forth, and I was ready from the first day I got there to come back to Kansas and face my bond hearing.
Your Honor, there is a waiver of extradition paperwork signed July 14th by a Marion Superior Court judge regarding Tyler Beauclair.
All right, thank you, Ms. Norris. It does appear to the court there was a waiver of extradition executed by Mr. Beauclair. Subsequently, the court does find that a high bond is appropriate to ensure Mr. Beauclair's next appearance. The court does consider Mr. Beauclair to be a potential flight risk. However, the court does find there was a waiver of extradition that was executed by Mr. Beauclair to appear once again before the Kansas court, which goes to Mr. Beauclair's credit. Subsequently, the court does order that as a condition of bond, Mr. Beauclair provide confirmation by the landlord of his proposed residence to be submitted to the court. Once again, that's confirmation by his landlord to be submitted to the court, and the court orders that that be at least a 6-month lease, at least a 6-month lease. Subsequently, the court finds that Mr. Beauclair does not have family ties to the community. There are limited work ties to the community based upon the Sinclair refinery here in El Dorado. The court does order as condition of proposed bond, once again, that Mr. Beauclair stay within the confines of the state of Kansas. The court does order electronic monitoring with SCRAM device also, and the court does order reporting to court services. Court orders Butler County Court Services be advised of Mr. Beauclair's whereabouts and his activities on at least a weekly basis. And Mr. Gehring, the phone number for Butler County Court Services is 316-322-4154. Excuse me, 4153. 4153. 316-322-4153. As previously stated by the court, based on all of the information that is available to the court does find that a high bond is appropriate to ensure Mr. Beauclair's next appearance, and the court does order bond in the amount of $500,000, $500,000 cash or surety. The court understands the current bond is set at $1 million cash or surety with GPS required. Court does in addition order scram. Court in addition orders weekly check-in from court services along with confirmation by the landlord of at least a 6-month lease of the proposed residence for Mr. Beauclair. And any other matters to come before the court? Ms. Norris?
Your Honor, just to clarify, he's not allowed to bond out of the jail until the court is satisfied with the landlord paperwork.
That is correct. That
Okay.
is correct.
Nothing further. Thank you.
I will get that information for the court, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Guerin. Anything further, Mr. Guerin?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
There being nothing further to come before the court, court is in recess.
Could you by
And-
chance put me in a breakout with, well, are your breakout rooms full still? I'll come see you tomorrow, okay, Tyler?
Okay,
I can
thank you.
put you in a breakout room.
You can?
Yes.
Yes,
That'd be great, thank you.
court is in recess. And you're free to go, Mr. Gehring and Mr. Beauclair. Have a good day.
Thank you.